Hey guys, welcome back to Maddogg Comics. Today I am giving you a video that I know some people might not like, and this video might be a little bit divisive among some people, but today I'm looking at 10 classics, or like 10 books that I haven't read. So if this is your first time watching the channel, please hit subscribe down below so you never miss another video. And if this is not your first time watching the channel, then welcome back. I hope you enjoy this video like all the others, and let's get into it. I am going to read these books. It's not a case of I've not read them and I'm never going to read them, but these are 10 books I haven't read. I thought it'd be really interesting to make this video and then look back at it maybe like in a couple of years time or even 10 years time and think, oh my god, how had I not read that at that stage? When I think about things like Invincible or some Spider-Man stories or some Batman stories, and I'm like, how had I never read like Long Halloween, or how had I never read Invincible, or things like that. So I thought it'd be really interesting to make a video like this and then look back at it later on. First up is Mouse by Art Spiegelman. Now, I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard of this book, and if you've read it yourself, then you probably know the contents of the book. It's representative of Jews in Auschwitz. They're represented by mice, cats, and I think the Americans are dogs, I think. It's a book I've not read, not by choice, I've just not got around to it, I haven't seen it. I've read The Boy in the Striped Pyjamas, I've seen Schindler's List. I saw the Amazon Prime show Hunters that was really strange but really good. So I just think it's really interesting to see that. And I think from a perspective of someone who isn't Jewish, looking at those tragedies and those awful things that happened, it's impactful, but I just can't imagine anyone going through it. And I think the idea of representing these people as mice or cats or dogs kind of takes away from that and makes it a little bit more accessible to people and gives someone an in. Just to have these anthropomorphic animals, it makes it almost like takes a layer of the brutal horribleness off of it, and makes it a little bit less real, even though it was real and all this stuff happened and it was horrible. I think it's one of those books I really have to be in the mood to read, and so far I haven't seen it, I haven't been in the mood to read it, but it is one I'd like to check out in the future because it is so highly recommended and it's so highly acclaimed. Yeah, that's Mouse by Art Spiegelman. Next up, I've got Sandman by Neil Gaiman. I've never read any Neil Gaiman stuff. I know to some people that might be the worst thing you could say. I've never read it, and honestly, I don't know anything about Sandman, like at all. I know he's a DC character, I know he's been introduced into the more DC mainline things now, I know very, very little about it, but it's a classic and I've not read it, so that's why it's on the list. Yeah, Sandman by Neil Gaiman. Literally don't know anything I can say about it. Yeah. Then number 8 is Pride of Baghdad by Brian K. Vaughan. I'm definitely getting into more Brian K. Vaughan stories now. I read Why the Last Man. If you saw my recent March unboxing, you'll have seen that I got Paper Girls. And yeah, I have read some of his stuff. I've really enjoyed his stuff that I have read. But Pride of Baghdad, I have not read. Almost for the same reason as Mouse. It follows these anthropomorphic lions that are given voices and speak to each other, and it follows them escaping from a zoo after a bombing. But yeah, I don't really know too much about it, and I haven't read it because I hate anything that happens to animals. Like, I hate any kind of violence or anything against animals, and I think I've really been putting it on the back burner, like not wanting to pick it up and read it because I'm worried like something will happen to the animals. I know I need to read it and I should read it because it's supposedly very, very good, and it sounds like it's quite influential in a lot of other storytelling, and yeah, it sounds like it's one of those that's going to be looked at in like 10, 15, 20 years and be a real pinnacle of comic books. Yeah, I feel like I'm rambling, but so next up I have Berserk, the Japanese manga series by Kentaro Miura. I'm looking at his name on my phone because I'm trying to read it correctly. So I've heard a lot of people talk about this book recently in regards to Elden Ring, which is a new FromSoft game that is very similar to Dark Souls and Bloodborne, which are games that I absolutely loved. I haven't played Elden Ring and haven't really seen too much about it, but I've heard a lot of people talk about Berserk in relation to Elden Ring. I've never read any manga at all. Berserk is one that I've really had recommended for me. A lot of people speak really highly of it, and it came to my attention a lot more when the tragedy of the author passing away happened, and I think his son was going to take over or something like that. I don't know anything really about it, but that's probably one of the reasons I haven't delved into this world yet, because it's unfinished and I don't really want to get invested in something and not for it to be finished. I absolutely love Dark Souls and Bloodborne and Elden Ring. I haven't seen too much about, but I'm sure I like that too. But yeah, it sounds like it's this almost medieval dark fantasy manga series, and it sounds really cool. Okay, number 6, I've got Secret Wars, either 1 or 2. I've not read either. So Secret Wars 1, when the heroes from Marvel are taken to Battle World or Battle Planet, I think it's Battle World, and have to fight, and basically Peter gets his black symbiote suit, and it's the start of all that. I've read the Birth of Venom story, which is after he gets back from Secret Wars and he's got his black suit, but I haven't read anything of that. I've seen the 90s Spider-Man show that kind of did that a little bit, but again, not read it. I'm looking forward to maybe reading them in future. I definitely would like to. I mean, all the books on this list I'd like to try and read at some point in my life, but I'm not sure that I will get around to all of them. Maybe. Who knows? But yeah, Secret Wars 1 or 2, I felt like it was kind of like one of the big Marvel events, one of the big Marvel things I hadn't really read, so that's why that's on this list. Then number 5, a very topical one I thought, based on the new show Moon Knight on Disney+. This is the complete collection of Moon Knight by Jeff Lemire. I've not read any of Moon Knight at all, apart from one issue that my school had in the school library. I read one trade of Moon Knight. I can't remember who it was written by, I can't remember what trade it was, but I remember I read that one trade. Moon Knight by Jeff Lemire seems to be what a lot of people are talking about at the minute. A lot of people are mentioning it as inspiration for the show. A lot of people are mentioning the asylum thing, and to me it sounded a little bit similar to an aspect of the Last Night on Earth that I did not like, but I'll be talking about that in an upcoming 5 recent reads video, so make sure to stay tuned for that. The book recently came out, and I probably should have picked it up in my March haul, but did not, and maybe we'll try and pick it up in my April haul, who knows. I'm watching the show at the minute. Currently only episode 1 is out. Really loved episode 1, really liked it, and if I like the show, I'm probably going to end up caving and buying Moon Knight by Jeff Lemire, the complete collection. Number 4 on the list is Amazing Spider-Man: The Death of Gwen Stacy. Now, I haven't read this one because it's very old, and I hate old stuff. No, I'm joking. I haven't read this one because I haven't done a real deep dive into like the old Spider-Man stuff just yet. I'm still really getting into Spider-Man, and I'm loving all the stories I have read. I haven't read any of the older stuff. I've seen The Amazing Spider-Man 2, but yeah, this is a big turning point, like a big pinnacle for Spider-Man. I read Spider-Man Blue, which I really enjoyed, which was looking back at Gwen Stacy after she had died. I really like that, and as someone who hasn't read it, I thought it was really great, and I imagine that when I do read that and then go back and reread Spider-Man Blue, I'll think it's even better. But yeah, The Death of Gwen Stacy, a big turning point for Spider-Man. Then into the top 3. So number 3 is The Dark Knight Returns by Frank Miller. This was kind of what reinvented the Dark Knight as this dark, gritty character. I haven't read it, I've seen the animated films. I thought they were really good. I did buy it, and it got lost in the post and didn't end up getting it. I spoke about that in one of my hauls, I can't remember which one. I don't know, I want to read it, but I'm very much oversaturated with Batman at this point. Like, I feel like everyone is. DC and just everything in all media, it seems like Batman, it seems like Joker, like everyone is just very oversaturated with it. Ben Affleck's Batman was this dark, gritty, like not retired, old Batman. It just seems like, I don't know, I'd be comparing it to that and it'd leave a bad taste in my mouth. But who knows, I might enjoy it, so I'll try and pick it up and I'll try and read it. Then number 2, another Brian K. Vaughan book I haven't read is Saga. I decided to put this on the list because it recently started back up again after a 3-year hiatus, and I know a lot of my friends really like this book. A lot of my friends who don't even read comics have read this book because it's so accessible to so many people as just like a fantasy Romeo and Juliet story. I'd really prefer for it to be finished and get into reading it. I think the idea of waiting 3-4 years for like another issue, I'd hate that, and I'd lose all interest in it. So I know for me personally, I'd love to have it all there finished and then go and read it. But that's just me. So yeah, Saga I've not read at all, and I know a lot of people probably have and absolutely love it, and I'm screaming now like, Kate, why have you not read that? But I just haven't. And then number 1 that probably upset most people is Watchmen by Alan Moore. I have not read. I have read The Killing Joke, it was the first comic I ever read, but I've not read Watchmen. I haven't seen the show either, which is supposedly really good. I have seen Zack Snyder's film, and I saw that about 10 years ago now, and I didn't like it at the time. I'm sure if I went back and watched it, I'd appreciate it a lot more, but I haven't read it. I haven't read any Doomsday Clock or anything like that. I don't really know anything about it other than like the film, honestly, bits that I can remember from the film. I'm sure I'd really like it. I do have it in my collection to read. It's over on my shelf. I've got it in maybe January, February, I can't remember. But I do have it, and I'm going to try and read it soon. I think it's one of those I'd have to really be in the mood to read. Like, I'd have to sit down and think it through and read it, because it's really intricate, apparently. But yeah, that's 10 books I haven't read and 10 books that I'd really like to read. This video was kind of inspired by a video Maddogg Comics made ages ago. I'll put that on the end screen. I'll link it down in the description below. So I've been watching this channel for ages, and I remember when that video came out and I thought it was really interesting. And the other day I just thought of making a video and searched it up on YouTube to see if anyone had done it. And that video came up and I was like, oh yeah, he has made it. So I messaged him and was like, you alright if I make this? I'm not copying you. But yeah, so this video was inspired by a video Maddogg Comics made, so definitely go check that out. He's got some really cool pics on there. But that's the end of this video. If you guys are still watching, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe, comment down below if anyone is still watching. And I'll see you guys later. Bye guys. Bye.